And welcome back to more Sonic Unleashed. Last time we finished up Empire City, and this time we are heading into Shamar for the night stage. You might have noticed something was a little bit off. I went ahead and collected a ton of medals off screen. So, I don't remember what the initial counts were. They were a lot lower than those. So, for the record, our moon medals are good. I think we only needed like 80 to actually access level 6. It's either 80 or 90. I want to say it was 80. Sun medals you need more of. You need like 120 to access the last level. So hopefully we can find 16 medals across the next 2 night stages. Okay, so right in front of us is the entrance to Arid Sands Act 1, Night. I feel like I've said this a few times throughout this playthrough, but this is hands down my least favorite night level. By the way, as a little bit of a heads up, I have a lot more experience now, so if we're in trouble, we can always level up. There's one right there. It's a moon medal, so it doesn't help us. I'm pretty sure I talked already about how much I dislike the wizard enemies. And look, now they're on fire, to make them even more annoying to fight. Just amazing. But yeah, this level I feel like has the most annoying combination of enemies. So yeah, that's why it's my least favorite. Just the combat in this level is not good. Honestly, like, I don't mind the werehog. I think it is flawed in a lot of ways, but a lot of times you can kind of overlook a lot of the problems. In this level, literally every major problem with the gameplay is right on the forefront. Stun locking, weird hitboxes for enemies, flames always help. So yeah, this is not a very fun level for me. And something else I was thinking about in general was the fact that I ended up spending like, 2 hours going through like every hub that we had seen, trying to get every medal I could find. By the way, I still have all the footage. I haven't decided what to do with the footage because there's so much that I obviously don't feel like trying to do like a montage in the corner of the screen or anything, because it would be probably longer than this video with how long it took. So maybe I'll include it as like a bonus video or something. But yeah, I just basically combed through every hub area, a couple of the stages, like a couple boss stages I went back through to get a couple medals I had missed. I went through a couple of levels just to pick up a few, so yeah, I didn't even get the right number. Again, we need like 120, but I figured at 106 we should be able to find enough. I think it was 106 or 104, I already forgot the actual number. Either way, we don't need that many, so we shouldn't be in too much trouble. We still have one more hub area, so that's gonna have a few sun medals there. And then one more night level before we actually have to get to the level 7 sun medal cap. I didn't actually mean to activate the QuickTime event. That was a little too fast. I feel like the QuickTime events are not entirely responsive sometimes. They're so fast that even if you hit it like seemingly in time, it will still run out too fast. Yeah, I could probably stand to level up here. Wouldn't hurt. But yeah, aesthetically, I'm still okay with this level. Yeah, the music is fine. The actual, legitimate challenges in the level I'm okay with. It's just the enemies themselves that kind of get on my nerves in this specific level. I'm not sure what electrocuted. Oh, I forgot there was an enemy in that pond. That worked out really well. But yeah, I'll have to decide how to handle that footage. I might just leave it at like, oh yeah, I just went through every level, just combing the areas. So no barrels, but we can do this instead. Which is fine if the cursor will actually lock onto the right enemy. There we go. So I want to say there's an item back here. Okay, there are barrels. But still, that was efficient enough. Yeah, there's one specific room that I can't decide if I want to show off or not, because it's optional. The story progression, I mean, but it's like... It's the reason, my main reason why I dislike this level. So I haven't decided, like, should I slog through this really bad section just to prove my point? It looked like that was glowing, but there's nothing inside of it. Got a switch over here. Not sure what this even does, to be honest. Record, cool. Looked like it closed back up, so we need to actually put something down on the switch. Grab one of these. I don't know if this is actually heavy enough, I guess we can find out. This is very jazzy, so again, this is another level where I feel like the Werehog music isn't actually out of place. On a couple levels, it's like, wow, this does not fit the regular nighttime ambiance. Also, there's one medal I could not find, one sun medal I couldn't find in the hub of Shamar. It was really weird. It's like I looked up and down, and I could not find it. And I feel like a big part of it is, to put it bluntly, the lack of sunlight. You know, sometimes it feels like these night levels are better and worse. Because you go slower, which is good, but you also have a harder time seeing things in the dark, so it's kind of a double-edged sword, the night levels, in terms of collecting. I always take out, like, the wizard enemies. I don't know official names of any of these enemies, for the record. I just never really investigated this game that thoroughly. This is like a... how to put it, like more of a recreational game for me. I like it. I don't like it enough to learn every minute detail about it, if that makes sense. I just have a very basic knowledge, and that's as good as I can muster for this game, because I'm gonna be honest, I'm still enjoying it. But I feel like by this point, because we've spent so much time in this game, and specifically the Werehog levels, that I feel like at a certain point for me, as much as I do enjoy the game, a certain level of fatigue starts to set in. Like, by this point in the game is when I start kind of running out of steam for it. You know, it's good, I can still generally recommend it, but maybe don't marathon it, like maybe, like, pace yourself with this game. Obviously for the sake of this video, I'm trying to kind of binge through this game, and I feel like that's not necessarily a good way to experience Sonic Unleashed. I think taking your time, being, you know, methodical, so you don't have to constantly replay levels, you know, taking breaks so you have plenty of space between combat sections. There's a lot of ways to kind of mitigate the kind of repetitive nature of it. For example, there's extra acts in each area with a few medals of their own. The problem is the extra acts, I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to handle those. Part of me wants to show them, part of me doesn't really like them, because they're usually really short or frustrating, or both. So I've just kind of been debating how I want to actually handle the bonus areas. These bees are really effective as projectiles. We don't even have to put out the flames if we use these wisely. we're at the mercy of the lock-on, sadly. See, like there, I should have hit it, I think, but the attack just went through the bee. I keep calling them these like bee enemies, but they're more like wasps, let's be real. Yeah, this room isn't too bad. If you go up the stairs, I'm pretty sure there's nothing of significance up there. But just like an extra like little combat area for like a collectible. That's the area I'm not sure about. That was the area I was like, should I show this? Because I always die here, but the problem is, and this is why I don't like this, one is optional, and two, you will go through here probably in your first playthrough, I know I did, and I was like, okay, I don't see the last switch, maybe I should go up the stairs. And then you get locked into basically an optional combat section, that's really hard, and then you die, potentially, maybe you survive on your first attempt, I know I didn't, but at that point, then you have to redo all this, like, switch puzzle, because the checkpoint is, like, right when you enter this, area, so you have to redo all of the combat sections to get to that optional area. So, again, just to reiterate, up the stairs, on the opposite side of this area is an optional area. I have decided spur of the moment, as in right now. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna do that right now. I don't want to replay all this, just for the sake of, like, an art book. Yeah, up there, again, I'm not personally gonna bother. But yeah, I'm pretty sure the last switch is not up there, so we can just kind of bypass that area, I think. This kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier about how, you know, these like collecting style areas in night levels aren't great sometimes, because it's like I can't see what I'm actually supposed to be collecting. So yeah, we're still missing one switch, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, we're missing the blue switch, and yeah, to be honest, this is where I always get tripped up. I never, for some reason, can remember where this actually is. And that's, again, why I tend to go up to that upper area, because I'm like, okay, maybe it's there, and then I get beat up in a combat section. And again, I feel like it's optional based on the fact that I have these exceedingly strong memories of thinking it's optional, if that makes any sense. Yeah, but yeah, I want to say the switch is just like, or the gem is just like tucked in a corner somewhere. There it is. So you don't even have to do that. And I'm going to opt out of it for now. If there's a medal, maybe I'll do it later, but for now I just want to speed this process up a little bit. I'm gonna be honest though, when you don't get stuck on that segment thinking it's not optional, this level goes by a lot faster. I guess that makes sense, you know, again, that is one of the hardest rooms, honestly, because you have to fight a bunch of, like, magicians and wasps all at once, and it's just kind of a pain. I'm a little bit below average of where I want to be for medals. Also, why are the mores here in, like, Egypt? Also, they take a lot more damage when you don't have ice to deal with them. Ow. That's another thing I don't really like, getting hit by, like, an enemy attack, and then dropping the item you need to defeat them with. You can also just cheese this by just attacking them right next to this pond, and thus you have enough rings to heal, and you can put out the fire immediately. So yeah, you can kind of break this segment, to be honest. In terms of the ones that are on fire, if you, like, position them properly. But yeah, just these magician enemies I don't find enjoyable to fight when they're not on fire, so when you put them on fire, it gets kind of not fun. Yeah, just generally stun locking is a big problem. I feel like I've said this a lot in this playthrough, and I haven't even gotten stun locked that bad, because I've been actively playing in a way to avoid stun locking, because I know, like, oh, with the jumping enemy, don't be standing next to it, because it'll stun you and then the shockwave will hit you. So I just have specific methods of dealing with some of these games' quirks, if that makes sense. That worked out, somehow. Still alive. Barely, but still. There's rings back here. So now we need to get to the upper level. So we're gonna move this. And we're almost done. That sounded really loud. Just pushing the box across the stone path. I was like, why does it sound like a cliff is crumbling? It's like the sound that plays when like Angel Island starts falling apart in Sonic Adventure. Like when the cliff opens up and then you go to Ice Cap. That sound right there. Yeah, Sonic World Adventure. I do wonder if the name would have helped or hurt this game. You know, obviously sales-wise it would have helped. I wonder about reception, though. I feel like if this game had been called Sonic World Adventure, it would have been really torn apart, actually. Like, you know, a 50 average out of 100 isn't good, still, but I think it would have been lower if it had actually been straight up called Sonic Adventure, or anything relating to Sonic Adventure. Because I feel like would bring in a certain level of expectations that would not be met by this game. This game is very much formatted differently from the adventure games. So yeah, the name probably would have caused confusion and then people being upset because it wasn't what they were basically expecting. It's the same issue as Sonic 4. Sonic 4 Episode 1, okay, I don't know how I did that attack. Sonic 4 Episode 1 I've played to completion, minus some of the really annoying achievements, like beating the final boss without taking a hit. I don't hate Sonic 4 Episode 1. It's not on the same level as the classic games, but I don't think it's as horrible as a lot of the fan base treats it. That being said, I feel like Sega's asking for it to some extent, the negative reception, because they called it Sonic 4. You know, people like Rush, but people also treat Rush as its own entity, and that makes a difference. If Rush had been called Sonic 4, the standards would have, yeah, the expectations would have been much higher. And thus, I think, you know, Rush would have been worse received. Same with Advance, and so on. So again, Sonic Mania, oddly enough, I think was worthy, I guess you could say, of being called Sonic 4, yet it wasn't. It's not even letting me do the quick time event. There we go. It's really slow because he has a sliver of health, but hey, guaranteed victory. And a nice 40,000 bonus points. And we don't even have to defeat the last enemy, we can just go and grab the key, so I'm gonna do that.
Oh yeah, that's right, baby.
Yeah, that was skipping an optional area, and it still took 15, almost 16 minutes. 7 moon medals, that's actually good. I was hoping to get around 6 to 8, so we're good on that front. More art, the Gaia key. Wow, we have a lot of experience. I'm gonna hold on to this because I'm not entirely sure what I need for the next levels. So we're gonna call things here for now. Next time we are going to hopefully enter the Gaia Temple here. So thank you for watching, and I hope you'll join me next time for more Sonic Unleashed.